What happens when we tell students to study their math lessons? Most of them say how hard math is for them. Others may give it a shot, but some will have difficulties with numbers. But did you know that there are ways to build and boost your math skills while having fun at the same time? And one of those ways is playing games. Sharpen and speed up your math skills with vSmart Games Number Sorcerer. Number Sorcerer is a mobile game application developed by Vibal under vSmart to help learners develop and enhance their numeracy skills, particularly in basic mathematical operations. How do you play? It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Simply find the correct answer from the choices within 8 seconds for the easy level, 10 seconds for medium, and 15 seconds for the hard level. Players need to find either the sum, the difference, the product, or the quotient of each numerical expression. Learners will be able to practice addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Make sure that you get the right answer so you won't be beaten by the bad guys and not run out of lives. Power-ups are also rewarded when you don't miss a single correct answer in the entire match. When you run out of lives, the game is over. Number Sorcerer can be enjoyed by anyone who wants to practice and improve their math skills. Incorporating digital game-based learning is another intervention for keeping students engaged. That's why mobile games are a great learning supplement because children learn while having fun. Number Sorcerer is now available for free download on Google Play and Apple App Store. This app will soon be integrated into vSmart Learning Management System.
Good day, Kavibal, and welcome to our YouTube webinar series. For the discussion today, the topic will be on research write-up for journal article publication. Before we begin, take note of the following reminders. Make sure you are registered to the webinar to have your e-certificate of participation. Visit certificate.vibalgroup.com to generate your proof of attendance. Place your questions in the comment box allotted during the session, and they will be addressed by our speaker later on. Share the video using hashtag LearnAs1PH as our official hashtag to all our Vibal webinars. Experience learning the Vibal. And now, to proceed with our webinar this afternoon, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our distinguished speaker today. Dr. Cinder Dayan L. Tabiolo is an assistant professor of Jose Rizal Memorial State University, Dipolog City, Zamboanga del Norte. She earned her Bachelor of Secondary Education major in General Science at Xavier University, Ateneo de Cagayan in 2003. Dr. Tabiolo completed her academic requirement in Master of Arts in Science Education at Cebu Normal University in 2009. In 2013, she finished her Master of Arts in General Science at Jose Rizal Memorial State University, Dapitan City, and completed her Doctor of Educational Management at St. Vincent's College, Dipolog City in 2016. As a prolific researcher in the field of science, she attended numerous instruction-related seminars and international conferences. She also published researches in Scopus Index and Thomson Reuters Index journals. A national awardee during the specialization training in legal medicine and forensic chemistry, awarded as a fellow of the Royal Institute of Educators in Singapore, research speaker of numerous international conferences, a paper presenter during the Third World Conference on Psychology Sciences in Bali, Indonesia, an international peer reviewer after completing the training on peer review using Thomson Reuters and Scopus Elsevier standards, an external reviewer of the International Journal of Advanced Multidisciplinary Studies, and a recipient of numerous certificate of recognition for an outstanding workshop and research presentations. Recently, she had just published 2 books entitled Compendium of Research Studies, focusing on environmental science and educational leadership and research methodology, qualitative and quantitative. Because of her unparalleled contribution in research, she has been nominated as a faculty finalist for Meritorious Award in Research of JRMSU Dipolog in 2020. This year, she was recently awarded in research and book author categories during the Global Educators Award organized by Beyond Books Publication and Loan Qualifier in Region 9. A hardworking science educator, research advisor, and a panel member in various research outputs of undergraduate and graduate students. An AACCUP accreditor and one of the ISO 9001-2015 internal auditors of the campus. Presently, she is the chairperson for research presentation and the associate dean for the College of Arts and Sciences of Jose Rizal Memorial State University, Dipolog Campus, Dipolog City. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Dr. Cinder Dayan Tabiolo.
Good afternoon, Kavibal. It is my great pleasure to be with you again. I think this is my 7th time to be with Vibal. I want to say thank you to Miss Jill because I know I am very confident to share something with you this afternoon because of the assistance of Miss Jill. Can I start sharing, Miss Jill?
Sure, Miss.
Is it visible now, Miss Jill?
Yes po.
Okay. Once again, good afternoon. So my topic for this afternoon's webinar is on research write-up for journal article publication. We all know that as of this moment, we need to publish everything we write or we do research, no? So lahat ng ginagawa natin needs publication. Okay. So what are the objectives for this afternoon's webinar? First is, of course, discuss the purposes of research publication, explain the reasons why research articles are not accepted for publication, the use of IMRAD format in packaging articles for publication, and the use of technology-based tools to ensure the quality of journal articles for publication. What are the different purposes of publication? Now, scientific journals are essential media for the dissemination of scientific findings, right? Now, according to Givers et al. 2006, research journals are coined as the lifeblood of living and evolving science. And writing and publishing scientific articles are the way of life in scientists' careers, according to Adams, Rogers, Smart, and Zamzur 2020. It is also the basis for new research and practical application of findings and results. And it affects the scientific community and society at large, according to Wager and Clinier 2010. And it is also a file drawer problem, according to Iwachio, Botton, and Atlas 2019. But some of the different educators nowadays, the main purpose of publication, no, the main purpose of publishing their papers are for promotion purposes. You cannot have a professorial rank or you cannot have a supervisory rank without publishing a impactful paper. Now, there are reasons why articles are rejected. We all have this will, no, to publish our work, but there are certain things that we are going to consider before our work get published. Academic researchers in many disciplines face difficulties in disseminating the research outputs beyond academia. The literature shows that scholarly research outputs are buried deeply in reports and not transmitted into real practice, according to Waded 2002. The errors are manifold and various. Many researchers struggle to have their papers be published in high-impact journals. According to Usiner 2008, identifies problems commonly encountered in publication associated with language problems, divergence on the journal standards, and relevance. Despite the publication of manuscript guidelines in many high reputable journals, many manuscripts cannot meet the journal standards set and are ultimately being rejected and sent back to the author because of quality issues. Now, let's try to look the different reasons why articles are rejected. First, flaws in the research design, manuscript organization, results and discussion, conclusion. That's according to Alstrom 2012. Another reason is insufficient contextualization of the research. We have also language style, referencing styles, date of references, no? Especially if you're going to publish it in a high impact journal, so dapat yung date of references natin must be updated, no? At least you may count 5 years down. So if it's 2021, you may start with your date of references, probably 2017 to present. The originality of work, of course, lack of focus, and then the length of the manuscript, because there are certain journals that you're going to consider how many pages are you going to publish, no? Ilang pages ba ang need natin i-publish within our paper? So if it's too lengthy, automatic rejected yan. No? So you have to follow the different format of different journals. And then faulty data analysis. We have, of course, plagiarism. And then we have readability. Because some readers are very choosy in reading research papers. So dapat eye-catchy, dapat it should be, it can be easily understand, because hindi naman lahat ng readers are scientists or researchers. And then speaking of high impact journals, there are different formats that we are going to follow if we wanted to publish in a high impact journals. Now, IMRAD format is the most commonly used, no, in publishing high impact journals. When we say IMRAD, focuses on introduction. So what was the question? And then next would be methods. How did you try to answer it? No? So all of your objectives should be answered by a method. No? Different methods should be properly used for every objectives to be used in your research. And then we have results. What did you find? And discussion. What does it mean? No? Now, this is an example of a structural component of a publishable research article. So this is according to Swales and Zeiger 2000. So you may see in the presentation, it started with, of course, the introduction. So the content, no, must be presented. Research gap, no, why you need to study this research. Do other researchers have already studied it before? So you need to know there are still problems that you think wala pang answers from the previous studies. No, so that's the reason why you have to fill in the gap of the study. That's the importance of your research, why you're going to conduct that study. And then the aim, of course, of the study, your goals and objectives of your research. Next is your materials and methods. So what are your study objects? No? Who are your participants? And then the preparation of objects, materials, or selection of participants. And then we have the study design. But before that, in the selection of participants, we are still going to consider the ethical considerations, no? Especially if the participants are humans or animals. No? Medyo strict na ngayon ang ethics committee depending on the different organizations that you're going to consider. Kung university ka, may mga research committees na yan to look into the ethical considerations of the respondents that you're going to use in the study. And then next would be the study design. We should be also very careful on what design are we going to use in our study. Baka akala mo it's a descriptive design, but no, I mean, parang akala mo it's an experimental design for you, pero descriptive design lang pala ng research. So we should be very careful in choosing the research design in our study. And it also, iba-iba kasi yan. If you are studying on sciences na field, and how some researchers would prefer on the history, on educational topics. So it depends on the field that you're going to choose. No? The design will matter, of course. And then we have the interventions, no? Yun ang sinasabi ko, it's either experimental, the different types of research, and then methods of measurement and your calculations, no? And it also involves on the statistical analysis that you're going to use in your data analysis. Now, next would be results. So it is the most important, no? Or first results in your study that you're going to focus. yung pinaka-importante, no? The main goal of your result is the most important results. And then other results, no, you should also present that, other results in specific order. And then you may include also the least important result in your study. And then discussion. So I think discussion is the heart, no? The heart of the research process. Dito mo i-explain, no? In-depth explanation of the results and findings in your study. So the statement of main result, you have of course, we have the expected results, and then comparison with the literatures that we've anchored into, no? Is it true with the study of these researchers? Totoo ba to in my study from the previous scientists or researchers na unang nag-study about this certain idea? And then we have also the explanation, of course, of results. We should be very careful in explaining the results because there are readers, no, na medyo dun sila pinofocus yung pag-intindi, no? Pag-intindi nila sa results mo. So dapat smooth yung pagka-deliver mo ng findings ng result. And then you may add substantiation. Lahat ng mga important results in your study should be substantiated with the different literatures that you've read before. Because mas maraming literatures na isupport mo, parang mas valid, no? Mas strong ang result mo sa iyong study. And then we have also you may include in your discussion also, of course, the limitations of your methods used, no? Para alam ng readers that these are the limitations of your study. These are the limitations of the different methods used in the study. And then we have of course, generalizability, no? And then we will finally go to the conclusions, no? Conclusions in your study. I'll show you, no? Ito, mas easier to understand yung mga sinasabi natin. Main sections of a scientific paper. So we have the different main sections of our research paper. Of course, we are going to start with the title. So what the paper covers and about. So author, of course, the name and affiliation of authors. And then keywords, no? Words other than those in the title that best describes the paper. And then, of course, the abstract, no? Abstract can stand alone. It's a short narrative of the paper. Andyan na lahat sa abstract ang gusto mong malaman about the study. And then, of course, no, ito introduction. I think many writers, many researchers think introduction is a difficult part of a paper. So you may include why this paper, why this topic, why this study. So the problem, no, what is not known, of course, no, alangan naman na mag-research ka na sa may mga known results na. Of course, dun ka magfo-focus what is not known in the study. That's the gap, no, that you're going to fill in the gap. And then, of course, included na ang objectives of the study in your introduction. Then we have materials and methods. How was the study done? I am also a pro research method na writer. Kasi pag yung method mo is clear na ginagawa mo, we will make sure na lahat ng other researchers or lahat ng other people na gustong i-repeat yung ginagawa natin sa study. Dapat it's clear and concise, it's specific sa methodology natin para they can repeat and reuse what we have done in our study. That's the main purpose. Dapat specific, clear ang methodology natin. And then we have the results. What did you find? Discussion. What does it mean? No? So what's next after this? And of course, we're going to interpret the results as much as parang gusto mong i-interpret yung parang mas madaling maintindihan ng reader yung nangyayari sa data mo during the discussion. And of course, you must also include what are the future directions after conducting the study, after knowing the results of the study. And then we are going to include also, of course, acknowledgements. Who helped in the study? How? What was the funding source? Dapat i-include mo yan sa acknowledgements mo. No? Lahat ng tumulong sa'yo during the conduct of the study, huwag mong kalimutan, you must acknowledge them. And then we have references. Details of paper cited. So lahat ng na-cite mo, you must be, you should include that, no, in the references. And then appendices, of course, there are different supplementary materials that you are going to use in your study as appendices, no, different appendices. And then we will start with title. Now, most of my research students, ito yung problema nila kasi, paano ba maka-create ng good research title, ma'am? So yung mga frequent questions nila sa akin. So I'll give you tips, no, on how you're going to find a perfect research title. So it must contain as few words as possible, hindi naman yung lengthy. Kasi some of my students, their titles are yung during the title proposals. Napaka-lengthy ng title ng study. So parang as much as possible, you may limit the words, no, into 12. 12 lang as much as possible. So, kasi may mga journals kasi, pag lengthy na ang title, reject agad. No? So, most journals would prefer the maximum number of words in the title, 12 lang. So, 12 words as much as possible. And the title must be easy to understand. No? Kasi yun na yung pinupunto ko kanina. Hindi lahat ng readers, researchers, or scientists. So sa title pa lang, dapat easy to understand na. Diba? And then, describe the contents of the paper accurately and specifically. No? And then we should avoid abbreviations. No? We should avoid formulas in the title. And of course, the most important one, walang jargon. No? Do not use jargon. And of course, do not include, kung pwede, no, as much as possible, walang verb sa title. Not include any verb. Not contain low impact words such as some notes on, observations on, investigations on, study of, and effect of. Parang these words are very common and may lead to rejection, no, sa some journals. In title pa lang, wala na, rejected na agad. Okay, so we must take note with this, no? And then do not be flashy as in newspapers, no? We must avoid statements like agroforestry can stop deforestation, no? Walang ganon, as much as possible. And then report the subject of the research rather than the results. And then we should follow the style preference of the target journal. Author, if you are the primary, no, kung isa ka lang. Authors, pag marami kayo. So, author or authors made an important contribution to planning and carrying out the research reported, and anyone listed as an author should have helped in the preparation of the paper. Huwag mong isali yung walang naiambag, no, sa research nyo, of course. No? Pag ikaw lang mag-isang gumawa, walang iba. You are the sole author or the primary author of the research. So the person listed first is considered the primary author. Others may be listed according to the effort's importance. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa mga research students ko before. Depende, no, yung pagkasunod-sunod ng mga names sa author depende sa kanilang effort and contribution to the paper. So if walang na-contribute, erase. Do not include in the list of authors. Diba? May mga considerations natin, ilagay natin yung mga considerations na dapat nating i-consider. Pag walang naiambag, not included in the list. Okay? Author name should be complete enough to ensure proper identification and be followed by an address, including email, presented according to the journal style. Sa presentation sa authors, depende yun sa format ng journal na gusto mong i-publish yung paper mo. May iba-iba kasing journal style, no? Ang iba't ibang journal. So, but the most common ang name nyo, no? Included na yung school nyo, yung institution, of course your email, and then your position and your contact number. Keywords. Ito, mga estudyante ko before, lahat na lang na gustong words ilagay. Lahat na lang ng words na parang na-encounter nila sa kanilang study, shoot sa banga. Parang what do I mean? Lahat sinusulat, ini-include sa keywords. No. So, keywords, words by which the paper should be indexed, no, by abstracting services. Words that appear on the title should not be repeated as keywords because titles and keywords are listed together by abstracting services. So, wag mo na ulitin pag ando na sa title. And then, most journals allow not more than 6 keywords. Most journals. 6 keywords lang ang kailangan. Yung pinaka-importante na needed mong ilagay. Yun lang ang ilalagay mo sa keywords. Do not write as much as possible na gusto kong lahat ng words na ginamit ko sa study ko ilagay ko. No. You should be very careful in selecting keywords in your study. Okay. Next is abstract. Now, abstract should not contain no, abbreviations or acronyms unless they are standard or explained. So, walang acronyms, walang abbreviations in the abstract. References to tables or figures in the paper, of course, not included in the abstract. What else? Literature citations, not included. And any information or conclusion not in the paper itself. We have avoid general statements in the abstract and avoid complex, winding verbose sentences. Okay, we will proceed to the introduction structure, no? So ito, mga estudyante ko always, no? They find difficult in writing introduction. Now, I'll give you a tip on how you're going to write an introduction. So it should be relatively brief, no? As much as possible, you may have 2 to 3 pages lang na introduction. That will do. No? Most journals recommend less than 500 words. Most journals. And then avoid repetition. Do not repeat the abstract in the introduction. Ito yung mga medyo may problema tayo. Yung andun sa abstract, repeated na naman sa introduction. And of course, you must relate previous researches to your present work. Okay. So, number 1, what is known? No, that's for your introduction. Our understanding of the world. And then, what is unknown? So, what's the gap we want to fill? Yung sinasabi ko kanina. How and why should we fill the gap? So, your rationale, your purpose, or you may also have your hypothesis in your introduction. We have also materials and methods. So, to present directly and straightforwardly what has been done, how and when, and how the data were analyzed and presented. So, lahat mo ibigay mo dyan sa part na yan, sa materials and methods. Provide all the information needed to allow another researcher to judge the study or actually repeat the experiment. Okay. So, dapat yung methods mo are clear, no, organized, na if other researchers would want to repeat your experiment or repeat your methods, they can do it easily. The materials and methods section is presented in past tense. No, there is no standard rule on the use of active or passive forms like we took 10 samples, no, versus 10 samples were taken. So, and also you have to consider follow the journal's norms, and if the journal is not strict about it, use your personal preference. In results, no, present the results simply and clearly, no, direct to the point as much as possible, and then report only representative data rather than endlessly repetitive data. Do not repeat large masses of data. And of course, you are going to include the negative data that you have collected during the conduct of your study. And then cite in the text every table and figure by number that are necessary. And then during the discussion, the author or authors may explain meanings and applications of the results. So ano bang ibig sabihin ng results sa iyong study? What are the implications of the result to the community? No? And then shows the importance and value of the work and is therefore the most innovative and difficult part of the paper to write. Oh, ito yung pinaka-heart ng research yung discussion na sa results, sa findings. So you have to do it in the most innovative way. And then do not repeat what has already been said in the review of literature. You may add, but do not repeat. And then relate the results to the questions that were set out in the introduction. And indicate significance of the results, of course, no? And then stay away from generalizations, conjectures that are not substantiated by the results presented. So, pag walang substantiation, do not include. And then state conclusions with evidence for each, no? Lahat. If you have these conclusions, lahat ng mga evidences mo during the conduct of the study, you may include it. And then how about writing the conclusion? No? State well articulated outcomes of the study. In poor writing, it is not uncommon to find conclusions such as more research is needed before conclusions can be drawn. No? Marami akong nakikita dito sa mga thesis advices ko, no? Ma-undergraduate, ma-masteral, ma-doctorate. And then in that case, why publish a paper from which conclusions cannot be drawn? Correct? Okay. And then in references, most journals, no, they wanted to use the APA format 6th or 7th edition. No? And then if you wanted to know more about the APA format 6th or 7th edition, you may research it. No? There are different ways, no? Ma-in-text ba yan, citation, ma-book citation ba yan. So you have to know how to write 6th and 7th edition APA format. This is the trend kasi. Some journals are very strict on references. Aside sa dates, no, ng references mo, the format should be 6th or 7th edition. So pag hindi mo alam to, agad rejected na yung paper mo, no? Dahil lang sa references na hindi updated, na hindi fina-follow yung 6th or 7th edition. So you have to know all these things, no? To publish a very impactful research paper. Okay. Now, there are different technology-based tools in writing article for publication. I presented here some of the tools that you may use in your publication writing. Now, the most commonly used are this, the Google Scholar, the Grammarly, the Plague Scan, the online citation generator, and the automatic readability tool. So as of this time, free naman sila di ba? But there are also applications or tools that really can help you in writing your article, para ma-published in high impact journals. You may add these tools listed here. Napakarami yung pwedeng magamit. I suggest to my students, my research students, you must research on Google the different apps na magagamit nyo, because some of these tools are free online. Magagamit nyo siya sa inyong publication writing. Now, I would like to present one example. It's a sample of my research nga. Medyo baka may makukuha kayo nito sa i-share ko sa inyo. Before that, let me add, in choosing a high impact factor journals na gusto niyo i-publish yung paper niyo, you may type or research in ISI, Web of Science. You may type there yung field na gusto niyo i-publish yung paper niyo, let's say science or education. Pag i-type niyo doon sa Web of Science, automatically the Web of Science will give you the different names of the journals na pwede niyong i-choose kung saan mag-fit yung paper niyo na gusto niyong i-publish. Or you may also research on Scopus Index Journals 2022. Pag maklik nyo yon, it's very updated. Makikita nyo doon yung Scopus Index Journals na up to this time, kasi may mga Scopus Index journals before na hindi na na-renew ni Scopus by this year. So maybe mga 4 or 5 years ago, Scopus Index pa yung journal, but as of this time hindi na pala na-renew, May mga considerations din kasi ang mga high impact journals in terms of their publication. Okay? Kasi let's be very careful if we are a researcher in choosing the best journal that we're going to publish our paper, kasi may mga predatory journals kasi na easy lang mag-publish doon na journal kasi they are not ISI, hindi Scopus Index Journal, hindi Web of Science. Okay. Oh. Parang naputol. Okay. So this is an example, a sample of my research. So I published it in International Network for Natural Sciences, journal. This is a Thomson Reuters Index Journal. The title of our paper is Water Quality and Physical Assessment of Sungkilaw Waterfalls in Zamboanga del Norte, Philippines. Now, you try to look the keywords used, So, ilang keywords lang yung nilagay ko dito. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 words lang yung nilagay ko dito. So not necessarily lahat ng words na gusto nyong ilagay, you may include. No, you should be very careful in writing the keywords. And then look at the abstract. I started with the Zamboanga del Norte. And then, because abstract is the main, the summary of your paper. So lahat ilagay mo na dito, And then the study objectives, of course. And then the methods used in the study, and also the most important results in the study based on the objectives of the study. And there is, I think, one conclusion or recommendation, the present findings, in the study. I included it in the abstract. Okay. So this is the much bigger part of the paper. So the title of the name of the journal that we've published our paper is Journal of Biodiversity and Environmental Sciences, or the JBES. No? Most Scopus Index, Thomson Reuters Index journals, or ISI journals, may mga free, walang publication fee, no? Siguro, they are more into the quality of the paper but not to the payment, no? So dapat i-ready mo na yung self mo, kasi most high impact journals, within wala pang if I'm not mistaken, wala pang 1 day, wala pang 24 hours, they will email you immediately that your paper is rejected. Ganyan sila kaprangka, no? Hindi ka na paaasahin pa. That's normal. So dapat i-ready mo na, kung medyo ambisyosa or ambisyoso ka, i-ready mo na yung puso mo. This paper, before ito na accept sa ito na journal, which is Thomson Reuters Index Journals, may ambisyosa ako. Medyo yung pinili ko na journal before nito is medyo focus kasi siya sa isang field na hindi pala swak yung study ko. So that's the main reason why na-reject yung first attempt ko sa journal. They suggested na I have to find a new journal that yung mafi-fit daw yung paper ko. So that's one consideration, no? Kung saan mas mag-fit yung research paper mo or yung output mo, you are going to choose that certain journal. Okay? So look, the primary author, no, and then the secondary author, the designation, the name of the school, no, is the journal style. Ito yung style ng journal. So you have to follow the journal style in the paper. Of course, doon mo kasi gusto i-publish yung paper mo, so you have to follow the journal's format. Pag hindi mo i-follow yun, automatic rejected yung paper mo. So the introduction, no? Again, you have to follow the things that I've mentioned kanina, the way how you're going to write a proper, no, introduction of the paper. Okay. And then next would be the materials and methods used, no? So since we are studying on the water quality and the physical assessment of these falls, so ito po ako, no? This is our research team conducting the study. So I included here as much as possible the proper proper location of the faults, no? Gusto talaga ng journal makikita yung exact location sa environment na ni-research namin. So latitude and longitude locations are included in the study. So this journal would wanted to present also the map. Ang nakaano lang dito sa study namin, medyo liblib yung lugar at saka wala talagang signal, no, doon sa falls na ni-research namin. So ito lang talaga ang kaya ni Google Map na pwede kong i-produce, no, using the different tools na pwede kong makaya. Ito lang talaga ang maibigay ni Google Map. And then of course, you're going to write the methods used in the study properly. So lahat I've written here the different sampling technique, the waterfall current, yung water quality niya, the pH determination, the turbidity, the temperature, etc. The total suspended solid, yung pwedeng i-repeat ng other researchers if they wanted to do this kind of research. No, the total dissolved solids, the BOD, etc. And then I also included, since it's one of my objectives, no, to know the bacteriological determination of the falls. So it was also included, no? And of course, the formula, the method used in determining the bacteriological coliforms, the total coliforms and the fecal coliforms analysis in the study. And then look dito sa results and discussion na nilagay ko. So lahat ng objectives or the research questions that were presented in the introduction were stated, no? Iniisa-isa ko lahat, no? That's the summary of the physical features of the falls. Meron ditong summary of the physico-chemical analysis of the falls. And then we have also the bacteriological analysis of the falls. Lahat, no? All those analysis that were done was presented. And then I also include in the goals of the study or the statement of the problem, the utilization of the waterfalls by the community. So because this falls was considered as a tourist destination in Dipolog City, no? So gusto ko ding malaman how these waterfalls utilized or used by the community. So I did interview with the residents, the tourists there, no, na nagsiswimming. And then marami silang mga na-share sa akin na amazed ako kasi. So that's the may nakapag business within the falls, no, na marami silang mga handicrafts na dinidisplay para sa mga turista na nagsiswim doon. Ang daming may mga trabaho, no, na may nakapagtrabaho because of may mga tour guide, some may mga times na nagiging venue ang falls for trekking sa mga Girl Scouts, no? Yung camping, mga trekking, etc. And then the barangay captain was very happy, no, when we choose this barangay Sitio Virginia, barangay D1, Zamboanga del Norte and Dipolog. Kasi after knowing the results of the study, binigay ko kay kapitan yung primary results of the study, and also after publishing it, binigay ko rin sa kanya. So yung findings ng study namin, yun yung nag-udyok sa kanya that they have to rehabilitate and treat the waterfalls, no, para sa turista, para sa mga family na nag-enjoy for recreational activities. So because of the results, marami silang na-i-prepare, no, na ibigay sa city tourism office, sa mayor ng Dipolog, that this fall should be developed, should be rehabilitated para mas ma-preserve yung cleanliness ng water, yung flora and fauna within the surroundings, because it's a tourist spot. It's a good tourist spot without an entrance fee. Okay, so in this journal, tingnan nyo, yung sa references, all those, yung sa akin, before siya na-publish, identified kasi pag APA format, but in the journals format, ito yung lumabas, no? Parang straight lang yung lahat, hindi siya identified. So wala tayong magagawa if we are following the APA format in our paper, but yung journal style na ang so wala tayo. It will appear yung kung anong nasa journal na style or format. So ito, i-share ko sa inyo. So these pictures were taken during the field of work or laboratory work of the team. So in this picture, ito yung I think it's the water current yung kinuna namin, no, sa middle stream, because we have 3 locations in the falls. We have the plunging area, yung doon talaga bumabagsak yung falls. Tapos we have the upper stream, the middle stream, and the lower stream, yung the plunge pool, yung pinaka-deep na area sa falls. And then here, may portion kasi sa middle stream ng falls na tinatawag nila ito na miraculous water. because it tastes like salty siya na medyo mapait, no? And then the barangay captain told me during the interview na tinawag nila itong miraculous water kasi nakakagaling daw ito sa mga skin diseases, no? Marami daw mga turista na bumabalik doon during yung Holy Week, no? Tourists would bring different gallons, number of gallons para lang malagyan ng miraculous water para ultimo yung governor ng Dipolog or yung mayor ng Dipolog is kumukuha din ng by gallons dito sa nasa ano kasi siya nasa middle stream siya na area. So when I tried to taste it, salty talaga siya na medyo bitter. So as of this time, I am proposing, no? Naka-proposal na po ako dito sa university namin because I wanted to know what are the different composition, chemical properties of this salty water. Ano bang nasa tubig na ito na, bakit siya salty? Nandito siya sa freshwater na area, sa middle stream siya, di ba? And then, bakit siya mapait? Diba? Fresh water. So I am curious. So that's why I've done a proposal. I'm still working on it as of this time for budget approval na siya. So hopefully itong result na din ito after conducting the study will help, no, in the community. Siguro because of this curiosity may ambag tayo sa barangay whether yung tinatawag ba nila na miraculous water is totoo ba talagang may component na nagpapagaling sa different diseases na na-experience ng mga turista, ng mga residents na nandun. Because they're very claiming kasi talaga sila. Lahat ng na-interview ko, they're very parang pinupush na talaga ako nga, yes ma'am, miraculous water talaga. Kasi nakakagaling. So, meron akong mga nare-research na mga literatures, the different components, possible components that will make the fresh water salty. No? Yung mga, sometimes yung curiosity kasi natin will lead us into a better research project in the future. Okay. So, before we will end, I would like also to give you a tip, no, additional tip na lang before I will end. You have to, in choosing a journal, you have to also to know, no, the what do you call this one, the format of the journal, yung parang paano ba sinusulat ng mga writers or mga researchers na nag-publish in that journal, ano bang style in writing ng mga researchers or mga scientists na nakapag-publish na in this journal. And then another tip, as much as possible, if gusto mo yung journal na yan, na dyan ka mag-publish, you have also to cite, no? I-cite mo yung mga researchers na nakapag-publish na doon sa journal. Meaning, okay, so marami na pala siyang nabasa dito sa journals namin na nakapag-publish na because na-cite mo eh. Diba? So, yun yung mga nakukuha kong mga tips previously. Kinukuha ko yung style, the journal's way of writing. Kinuha ko yun. Studyhan mo yun, no? Ano ba talaga ang style? Makukuha mo mga 5 literatures, research articles na na-publish ulit sa journal. Makukuha mo na yung style of writing nila eh. Diba? May idea ka na. And then, do not forget to include researchers published in that journal para mas strong yung mai-cite mo rin ang mga taong nakapag-publish na in that journal. Okay? I hope I've given you enough because I know this is a very medyo mataas sana to na topic eh. So I just summarized everything so that I can share, no, whatever things na nakuha ko in publishing high impact journals. Thank you for your attention in this afternoon, Kavibal. I think that would be all. Thank you so much, everyone. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cinder Dayan, for that very informative discussion. Now, our viewers, can now comment their questions. If you have questions for our esteemed speaker for this morning, especially if you're interested in writing journals, maybe our speaker can give you additional tips, or if you have clarifications, if you're currently writing journals. We're giving you a few minutes to think of questions and comment down your questions here in our comment section. All right, so upon looking at our comment section, I think there aren't any questions from our viewers, but there's a lot of viewers and there's a lot of students watching us. So ayan, that's very nice to know. I think they are being required to watch by their professors, especially for those in research subject, those who have research subjects, and those that are interested in writing subjects. Ayan. All right, so we have a question from Ma'am Dolores San Juan. Any idea on article publication fees?
Okay. Ma'am, depende po sa journal, no? Ma'am Dolores ba yun, Miss Jill?
That's right, ma'am.
Okay. Ma'am Dolores, depende po yung article fee natin sa different journals. May mga free of charge naman po na mga Scopus Index na or ISI journals na high impact. May mga medyo pricey din po na Scopus Index. Usually, yung mga free of charge lang din po if high impact journals, medyo matagal din po yung process. Yung sa akin po, yung sample ko po ngayon, 1 year. Parang 11 months ata, ma'am. 11 months to 1 year. Parang ganun po. Na before po ako na-notify that my paper was accepted for publication in that journal. But there are also journals, ma'am, na medyo hindi naman siya pricey, and then parang short lang din po yung notification nila sa pag-accept ng paper nyo. So it really depends on the journal. Ang masasuggest ko lang sa iyo, Ma'am Dolores, is we should be very careful in selecting a journal, no, na gusto nating ipapublish yung works natin. Kasi yun yung sinabi ko kanina na medyo maraming journals na po ngayon na predatory. No? Masasayang lang po yung pera nyo, hindi naman siya counted as legit journal. So we should be very careful for that. Ma'am Dolores, I am an associate editor of a certain journal, ma'am. And then I am willing also to help other researchers if they wanted to publish their papers. You may PM me po. You can contact me in my Facebook account. I am using my real name po. Or you can also text me po if possible. Or i-PM nyo lang po ako, ma'am. Baka makatulong po ako sa inyo, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Miss Cinder. We have another question from Corky Hope Maranyan. Will the journals give tips or proactively help writers, or will they just accept or reject?
Hello, Ma'am Pork. Hi, Ma'am Corky. Thank you for watching and for asking that question, ma'am. Still, Ma'am Cork, it depends on the journal because there are journals na medyo strict, no? Diretso ka talagang sasabihan na your paper is rejected. Wala pang 24 hours. But there are also journals po na paasa, no? You are hoping na accepted na po yung paper nyo. But after 6 months, ino-notify ka na rejected pala. So, hindi talaga, most journals will not give you tips, no, on how you're going to write because in their home, sa journals po natin na i-choose, may mga ano na kasi yan, Ma'am Pork, guidelines to the author. So you have to follow lahat ng sinabi doon sa guidelines, sa format ng journals, sa lahat ng gustong gawin ni author, no? Lahat na doon included na po yan sa guidelines to author. Oo. So you have to view pa, no? Another tip, pag may plano ka na doon mo ipapublish yung journal, yung article mo sa journal na yan, you read the homepage of the journal, and the first thing that you're going to look is the abstracting and indexing of the journal. Tingnan mo po doon if is it a ISI index journal, whether it is a Scopus index journal or Web of Science. Makikita nyo. Pag hindi po siya included sa abstracting and indexing, may mga CHED accredited journals naman po tayo locally sa Philippines na they are accredited for professorial ranking or promotion. Marami naman pong less, hindi naman masyadong mahal ang publication fee. Affordable naman po. But still, no, although it's CHED accredited journal, but still you have to follow the author's guidelines na nilalagay nila doon sa homepage ng journal.
Thank you very much, Ma'am. We have more questions coming in. Ayan, very interested po yung ating viewers. So, our next question is from Even Miguel. Hi, Ma'am. Let's say that our invention is effective. Are there any organizations that you can suggest that can help fund the production of our product?
Okay. So you are referring on the funding of the publication of your paper. There are different funding agencies, no, na willing mag-fund ng impactable research articles. If you think your paper is a high impact paper na pwede mong magpa-fund, DOST can fund, no? Meron ding if you are a member of the NRCP Council, Research Council of the Philippines, I am a member of the NRCP Division 5, that's Biological Sciences. They also fund, no? They also fund high impact articles for publication. Maraming mga agencies na pwede din nating pagkukunan, ma'am or sir, for funding, as long as the quality of the research article na gusto nating pa-fundingan is maganda, no? Yung feel natin na this paper of mine will be accepted in a high impact journal.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We have another question. It's from John Van Abaa. Do you believe that some student researchers only make for compliance only? What can you advise to all universities to change that kind of mindset?
Hello, John Van. Hi, John. Actually, Ma'am Jill, John Van is one of my students in research. So that's a good question, John. I'm happy that you are participating in this webinar, no? It's very true that for requirement purposes lang yung thesis na ginagawa ng mga estudyante nowadays. The saddest part pa nga is they are paying some people, no, just to make their thesis, yung makakapasa sila na makakagraduate. Now, in JRM issue, in our university, we are trying to eliminate those minds na, yung mindset na basta makapasa na lang, basta makagraduate na lang. But kahit gaano pa yung teacher ka dedicated in teaching the research values, no, the ethical considerations for a student researchers, na dapat yun yung mindset nila. For isa sa sinasabi ko sa students ko before is what's the purpose of writing your thesis if you don't have the goal of publishing it internationally? So that's one of my challenge to my students na hindi lang dapat basta-basta gumawa ng thesis for requirement purposes. Dapat after graduation, you may have a tandem no sa yung research advisor or any professor in the university that yun bang ma'am ipapublish natin yung paper namin kasi you are paying for it, you are exerting efforts for it, hindi ka natutulog para lang makagawa ng research tapos ilalagay mo lang sa sulok yung hardbound mo, no? So di ba you have one of my suggestions before in our research class, you have to publish your work internationally.
Thank you very much, ma'am. There's still a lot of questions, but I am afraid that we cannot entertain all of them. So we'd like to thank those students that are watching. I think there are students from Colegio de San Gabriel Arcangel.
Wow.
And they are required by their professor, Resty Samosa, to watch this webinar.
Wow.
Also,
Hi, Sir Resty. Thank you po. Shout out sa mga students from Colegio.
Thank you po. And we also have students from De La Salle Lipa.
Wow. Okay.
Students from...
Ma'am Jill,
yes,
they can contact me po in my messenger or Facebook account. Anytime I will accommodate your comments, your questions, siguro. No problem po. As long as I can help you, walang problema.
Yeah, thank you very much for your generosity, ma'am. So that's you can freely message our speaker po if you have questions regarding research, write up for journal articles. So we also have students from St. Michael's College, from University of Caloocan City Congressional Campus. So there's a lot of students watching us today. We have students from Philippine Normal University, Caloocan National Science and Technology High School, Jose Rizal Memorial State University from the university where our speaker teaches. Ayan, so there's a lot of students and professors watching us from National Comprehensive High School. Thank you very much for tuning in to our webinar, and please expect more webinars from us. Do you have any last reminders for our viewers today, ma'am?
Okay. I am very much grateful for your time of listening, of my sharing this afternoon. As much as I wanted to share more about research publication, but the time is not permitted kasi 1 hour lang si Vibal. Now, I am open for queries. You can PM me, you can contact me in my Facebook account. I just use my full name there, so you can message me anytime. And then maybe I can help you since I am an associate editor of a certain journal, International Journal of Advanced Multidisciplinary Studies. So maybe because it's the purpose of research, the main purpose of research is for publication, para yung results ng studies natin, ng researches natin will be cited by other researchers also, the results of our study or of our research will be the basis for a new solution or for a new findings. So kasi cyclical naman yung research lahat ng gusto nating gagawin, lahat ng gusto nating malaman in the future or within the surroundings, kayang-kaya natin because of research. So determination is the key, para makapag-publish ng magandang yung quality ng research article natin. Hindi yun masasayang, pinaghirapan mo yan, so dapat i-publish mo yan para ma-cite ka internationally. Kasi sa ano natin yun, the trend, the trend of the research education as of this time is publication and citation. So pag maganda ang research mo, maraming magsasite sa'yo, maraming magre-repeat ng method na ginawa mo. So, pag researcher ka na, that's the main goal na the citations, the number of citations, kasi makikita mo yun yung H-index factor mo as a researcher, as a scientist. I think that would be all this afternoon, Ms. Jill. Thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you very much, ma'am. There we have it. In behalf of People Group Incorporated, I would like to thank our speaker for today for this indeed very eye-opening and insightful learning session. It is an honor to have you with us today, ma'am. And to all our Kapibal viewers, all thanks to you for your continuous patronage to all our daily learning session. Don't forget to register to get your e-certificate of participation. We also encourage you to subscribe and watch on our official Vival Facebook and YouTube channel. Muli, maraming salamat, magandang araw sa ating lahat at manood pa kayo sa mga susunod mga Kabibal.
Thank you so much.